This is question 22 from the 2011 IMAT. So in this question, we're basically looking at taxi fares. They are in euros because this is the IMAT, so it's a European test. So our fare is €1 per kilometre for the first 3 kilometres, and then 70 cents. So you do need to know there's 100 cents in a euro, but that shouldn't take that much background knowledge. So that's basically 0.7 euros per kilometre for the rest of the journey after the first 3 kilometres. And so the question's telling me, okay, I pay 10 euros, but it does include a tip of 70 cents. And the question is, well, I'm travelling from the station to my house, so the question is how far is my house from the station, but it's really asking how far did I travel. So if you haven't had a chance to have a go at this yourself, pause the video and have a go now. Otherwise, we'll go ahead. And this is one where you just really need to be systematic. So first we've got a tip. The tip is completely unconnected to the distance I've travelled. It doesn't come from the rate per kilometre. So I'll just remove that. And that leaves 9.30, which comes from the actual cost for distance travelled. And then we know that it's €1 per kilometre for the first 3 kilometres. That's if you travel 3 kilometres, that's going to be €3, and then after that point you start being charged the lower rate. So because this is more than €3, I must have travelled more than 3 kilometres. So if I just take off the amount that I was charged at this rate, then I'll be able to work out how far I travelled at this rate. Which is the only bit that's going to require work, because we don't. This says it would be 3 kilometres. This one we'd have to work out. So okay, if we just subtract another €3, then that leaves us 6.30, which must have come from travelling at the rate of 70 cents per kilometre. And one thing to do here is, if you, especially in money questions where you're being charged at different rates for different parts of your charge, like it might also be an electricity question where, I don't know, you're charged a lower rate for the first however many units and a higher rate for units over that. So you're breaking down the cost into parts. It's always good to just keep track of how much, in this case, like how many kilometres correspond to each part. So here, this is 3 kilometres from this part, because it's easy to forget at the end, as we'll see, how many kilometres you actually travelled so far. So that's 3 kilometres from here. And then all the rest is going to be at the lower rate. So we just want to take our €6.30 and divide it by the rate per kilometre to get the number of kilometres. And we see here, okay, it's like 6.3 divided by 0.7, but it's much easier to think of as 63 divided by 7. And then you should see that's just equal to 9. So we get another 9 kilometres from there. And it'd be very easy if you just done all this working out to answer 9 kilometres and put option A, because that is one of the options, but you just have to remember that's one reason to note it down. Okay, I've got an extra 3 from before, so I add those together to give 12, and that gives me an answer of C, which is the correct answer.